What's up, good people of YouTube? This is the channel Strongest Director. My name is Reginald, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about moving to Atlanta. So if any of you guys are interested in moving to the wonderful, warm, cozy city of Atlanta, Georgia, then this video right here is gonna break down all the things that you need to know. So first off, I have personally been living in Atlanta, Georgia for 4 years. I moved here from Los Angeles. Originally, I'm from Kansas City. And when I moved here, I'm gonna probably get into this at the end, but when I moved here, I only had $80 and I basically almost had no place to stay. I kind of just came here on a whim, but like I said, I'm gonna get to that at the end. For right now, I'm gonna make everything about helping you guys out with moving to Atlanta and picking the right part of town and knowing how much stuff costs. So let's go ahead and start talking about what part of Atlanta is the good part of town and what part is the not so good part of town. Now, to keep things extremely simple, in Atlanta, Georgia, if we just start in the middle of downtown, if you go north, anywhere north of downtown, that's considered a good side of Atlanta. It's a nicer area. It's, you know, it's safe. It's gonna be more expensive, but the houses are gonna be better, and it probably won't be as much crime or anything like that. So north of downtown, you have Midtown, very nice, very, you know, classy, expensive. Might have some, you know, prissy, snobby people around in that area, but still very nice. A lot of people got nice cars around there. And then you go up to Buckhead, which probably Buckhead is probably like the most affluent area in the South. Only other place I can think of that's, you know, really nice like Buckhead is would be like Miami, if you go to like the rich parts of Miami. But yeah, Buckhead is like the rich area of town. They got $1 million mansions all over the place, neighborhoods of $1 million houses. The most expensive malls in the southern part of the United States are located in Buckhead. So it's very, very nice. You go up above that, there's like Dunwoody, there's Sandy Springs, there's Roswell, all very nice areas. Now, coming back to downtown, if you go east of downtown to Ponce City Market, that very area is very, very nice. Decatur's pretty nice, not as nice as north. So coming back to center, you go north, it's very nice, very safe. You go to the east of downtown, it's still pretty nice. It's like more gentrified over there. So it's, you know, it's just getting nicer. A lot of stuff over there is new. And now let's talk about, you went downtown Atlanta, you go south or you go west. West of downtown is like the Bluff, Bankhead. You got Martin Luther King Street. You go south and you go west, you got East Point. You got College Park. Now College Park, it starts to get a little bit better, but East Point, the ghetto. South of downtown, the ghetto. West of downtown, the ghetto. Pretty much anything inside a perimeter, like you got 285 going around town. If you south, the west of downtown, it's all like hood and ghetto. You know, some people fine with living in the ghetto if you're not worried about, because I used to live south of downtown. I still live in the ghetto. I live west of downtown right now, so I'm still in the ghetto. So, you know, there's been a few times where, you know, I've had the window busted out of my car in my front driveway. I've seen the FBI raid my neighbor's house. Last year, I watched one of my neighbors get jumped and beat up, and then he walked across my front yard back to his house and grabbed his gun and shot at the people that beat him up, and he got shot 7 times and died. I just watched the stuff like it was a movie. This stuff was crazy. So if you move to one of these other areas in Atlanta, this is the stuff that you might have to see. You might have to see stuff like this. But I mean, it's cheaper. You might be paying half as much money, so that's good. So just to recap real fast, north of Atlanta, excellence. East of Atlanta, very nice. South of Atlanta, you might need a bulletproof vest or to buy a gun or something. The west of Atlanta, they might steal the rims off your car and break in your car or whatever. But as long as you got a garage, you should be fine. At the house I live in right now, we have a garage. So I don't have to worry about that stuff. Even though I do live in the hood off of Martin Luther King. And why is Martin Luther King the hood in every single city? I ain't never been in no city where Martin Luther King was not the hood. Anytime I go to Martin Luther King, anywhere, I always got homeless people coming up to me. Hey, young brother, man, you got some change, man. You got some change you can have. You got 25 cents. Let me get that dough for you. I'll pump your gas for you. I'll pump your gas for you for a few dollars. I had one homeless girl, she ran up to me. She was like, hey baby, can I get $10? I'm like, $10 for what? $10 cash? $10 cash? You crazy. But I gave her some money anyway, so. How much does it cost? And if you're moving to Atlanta, you're probably going to rent, because if you were going to buy, you probably already know how much money the houses cost. So moving to Atlanta, whether or not you rent an apartment or you rent a room in a house or an apartment, you can find a place to live at anywhere from $400 a month up to, I would say, about $1,400 a month, unless you want to get a really nice apartment. Really nice apartments can run you like $2,000, $2,500 a month, depending on where you want to live at. So the cheapest option would be to go on Facebook and join one of the rent groups or housing groups for Georgia, and you can find people with houses or apartments, and they normally rent rooms out of these houses, and you can find a room to rent for as low as $400 or $500. Or if you're gonna look into getting your own apartment in one of the nice areas of town for a 1-bedroom, you're probably gonna look at anywhere from like $1,000 to $1,200 a month if you wanna live in a nice area. And then if you're fine with living in a not nice area, as I had described earlier, then you're gonna be looking at probably like $700 a month, maybe even as low as $650 a month. It is pretty cheap. If you can put up with the ghetto and the hoodness, you can find a pretty nice place in Atlanta. And for the most part in Atlanta, a lot of these apartments do look nice. I don't think there's any like ghettos left in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure they tore all the ghettos down, so all the apartment complexes do look relatively new. But if you go scout some apartments, don't let the look or the aesthetic trick you, because you might go to the bad side of town and be like, wow, this apartment looks wonderful, it looks fantastic here. But it still could be ghetto. It's just a nice looking apartment, but filled up with ghetto people. I don't know any other way to say it. That's just how it is in Atlanta. And then on the other side of town, you got the really, really nice apartments, but these ones will run you, like I said, $1,000 to $1,200 for a 1-bedroom. Unless you live downtown, you live in Buckhead at a condominium, you might be paying $1,500 or $1,600 a month for an apartment. And like I said, if you're gonna get a house, you already know how much the house is gonna cost. Now, if you wanna move to the nice side of town, up north, especially going over towards Lawrenceville, Marietta, Smyrna, Roswell, Sandy Springs, then be ready for a whole lot of traffic. The good thing about the more so like not so good part of town, there's less traffic over there. Once you get up to the north side of town, it's just, you're gonna be sitting in traffic only if you work a 9 to 5. So if you're gonna be driving during rush hour, it's gonna just be tons and tons and tons of traffic. If you are somebody that's self-employed like me, or you work unusual nighttime hours, then normally Atlanta doesn't have like random traffic too often in the middle of the day around like 11 to like 1 or 2 o'clock. And then late at night, there's also not too much traffic. As long as there's no like random accidents or construction, then there's normally not that much traffic around the city. So a lot of people complain about the traffic, but I moved here from Los Angeles, where it would take 2 hours to drive across town. In Atlanta with really bad traffic, getting across town might take an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. But for me, I really don't see that as being too terrible, mainly because, like I said, I'm self-employed. I don't get caught up in traffic too much. Next, so let's say you want to move to Atlanta, but you have an eviction, you got bad credit, you can't get approved nowhere, like me. I can't get approved nowhere because I have an eviction from 5 years ago or so I can barely get approved anywhere. I wanted to get a downtown loft, I can't get approved. When I was gonna move into this downtown loft, I had 10 times the rents as like my income. My income was 10 times higher than the rent. I even told them, I was like, I can pay the rent for 6 months up front or 12 months up front. I got the money in the bank. But unfortunately, they were like, oh, we have a strict no eviction policy. Even if you paid for 12 months at once, we can't let you move in. I was like, dang, that's great. There's no love out here. So if you're like me, you have an eviction, or you just have terrible credit, what I would recommend doing is you could probably just rent a room, which is what I've been doing for the past 3 years in Atlanta, which some people are like, oh, I don't like living with other people. But when you rent a room in a fairly big house, it's kind of like you almost live there by yourselves, because most people just sit in their rooms by themselves and they just, watch Netflix, or they play video games or whatever. Right now, this is my third house that I've been at where I've rented a room, and this house is really, really big. This house is over 4,000 square feet. Only 3 people live here, and I've got 2 bedrooms. I got an entire basement. My space inside of this house, my personal space inside of this house, is about 1,800 square feet. So the space I have here is bigger than my parents' house. It's bigger than most apartments. I've got space for days. I've got about 30 pieces of furniture in here, just in my own space. So you can look into renting a room. That would be your cheapest option. You can rent a room for as low as $500 a month. If you're looking for a room to rent, and you can find it on Facebook in a Facebook group for renting. That's where I found this room at. And this room is, this house is just like fantastic. I got a garage. I got a big living room. I put a grand piano in the living room. I built out the basement and made it my film studio to shoot videos inside of. It's a plethora of space, like I said. I've got almost 2,000 square feet of space that's mine inside of this house. So that's always an option for you guys. And like I said, I was gonna tell you guys about my story about moving to Atlanta at the end of the video. So we're at the end of the video. So I work as a videographer. I wanted to be in the best spot possible in the United States for, like a African-American videographer, which I had seen Atlanta as, revered as, Black Hollywood. So I was like, LA, mainly LA, I just ran out of money, so I had to move somewhere else. So I left LA, I came here, and when I came here, I had $80. So I had, where's $80 at? No, I didn't have this much money. I had this much money, so I had $80 when I moved here. And when I moved here, I didn't even really have a place to stay. I was just like, I really want to move someplace new. So I threw all my stuff in my car. I was at my parents' house in Kansas City after I had basically ran out of money in LA. And I came down here to Atlanta. I had a rapper. He was like, yeah, man, if you want to come to Atlanta, you can just sleep in my music studio. And then I had another music artist who was like, oh, I need music videos. You can come live in my house for free if you just shoot music videos for me. So I threw my stuff in my car, had my money, drove down to Atlanta. And when I got here, I stayed at one guy's house the first day. And after that day, he had a condo, slept in his condo. I got a boot on my car the first day. So my $80 was almost gone. That boot was like $50. So I was down to $30 and I was sleeping in a rap studio for like a month. After that, I moved into like a 10-foot by 8-foot office. So I was living in this tiny office with another videographer. I wasn't even sleeping in there by myself. I just remember I'd be in there eating Little Caesars pizza every single day. We had a desk in there. I'd sleep on one side of the desk and against the wall. Then he would sleep on the other side of the desk and against the wall. And then one night I was talking to him and I was like, yeah, man, I can't wait till we can move up out of this 80 square foot office. And he was like, Reg, man, I haven't told you this, but I'm a Satanist. So I'm sleeping in this room with this guy who's just like, yeah, I'm a Satanist. I'm like, oh, great, fantastic. It smelled like homeless people in there because it was hard to, we're just stuck in there, no laundry or no nothing. I remember I used to go to Planet Fitness. I got a membership at Planet Fitness, not so much to work out, but just so I could walk across the street and have some place to shower every single month. And then after that, I moved into the house with some rapper investor guy. He gave me a room in the living room. And basically I just built myself up from there. And that's how I got to Atlanta. And now I'm running a nice, profitable business that does over 6 figures a year. Business is going great. And I started this channel to talk about money. So, yep, that is my video on moving to Atlanta. Hopefully it can help out somebody. So just a quick summary really fast, recap. If you're moving to Atlanta and you got no money, or very little money, you can just come here and you can just rent a room. If you want to do something more, something that's probably more recommended, which would be save up like 3 to 6 months of expenses, probably 6 months of expenses before you move here. You can find, there's plenty of apartment complexes all over the place. Find one that you like. If you look online, just be cognizant. Just remember, just because it looks nice online, it could be ghetto in person. So just either come here, you can get an Airbnb for like the first month you come here, and then scout around the city to see what you like. Make sure you check out these apartment complexes later in the day. Don't go at noon, everybody's at work. Check out these apartment complexes when everybody gets off of work around 6, 7, 8 o'clock, so you can really see what these places really look like. And yep, that's my advice. Hopefully it helps. Ciao.